don't often do these videos. I would love to see this at West Ham because it's made up. It's my opinion. It's never going to happen. However, we discuss transfer rumours and that's never going to happen either. So why not do a little opinion piece? So that's exactly what I'm doing today. Talking about two players. Adama Traore at Wolves and also Lucas Digne at Everton. That's where we're going to start because of that situation at Goodison Park, which I'll do in a minute. But rewind a month ago, coming up to the January transfer window, Creswell was out. We didn't know when he was back, but we felt he was only going to miss a couple of games after crashing into the post at the Etihad. So I didn't really feel that we needed to address the left back situation in January. Creswell's in fine form, had a brilliant season. He'll be back soon. We've got Ben Johnson for cover as and when we need him. All is well. I felt that we'd have a limited budget in January. I still feel we're going to have a limited budget. When I say that, I don't mean 5 million or anything. I'm a decent one, 25, 30 million maybe. But I also think that we need a striker / attacker and a centre back. Suddenly, the money's gone, isn't it? I'm not sure there's much left over lolly for a left back as well. So I was relatively calm about the left back thing. Address it in the summer because it needs addressed eventually. But I feel that we'd get by for the season. But now we've discovered Creswell is out. We don't know when he's back because of the chip bone in his back. Add in the performance of Arthur Masuaku at left back. Add in Ben Johnson having a few little niggly injuries as well. I think we need to take a look at it in January. If the opportunity arises, I think there's one at Goodison Park arose. And I think it's the perfect one. I think this would be the perfect transfer for Lucas Digne, for West Ham and for Everton as well. I think all three parties would massively benefit from this. Now I'm speaking about a loan move here, to be clear. There's some reports that he's going to be loaned out and there's even less reports that Everton are going to sell him, despite signing Michaelenko for 22 million. But I think this is why there's a unique opportunity for a club, whether it's West Ham or another club, to go to Everton and get a top left back in because they've already got a replacement for him. The situation between Lucas Digne and Rafa Benitez needs solved. Now, one way of solving that is to sack Rafa Benitez. But for now, short term, I think Everton need to get Lucas Digne out of that club, get him away from there, and give Rafa as much opportunity to succeed as possible. Although it feels a little bit inevitable that he won't. And this is why I think a loan move would suit Everton. Because come August, who's most likely to be at Everton for next season? Rafa or Lucas? It's Lucas Digne, isn't it? So if Everton can loan him out, Lucas Digne goes somewhere, plays decent enough football, comes back, his transfer market value's gone up a little bit, he's got a happy player there. The new manager of Everton then has Michaelenko, who's settled in at Goodison Park a little bit, and also Lucas Digne. He's got plenty of options there. Now, there's some reports as to why he's fell out with Rafa Benitez, and I'm not going to say what they are. You can Google them for yourself because there's been no clarity provided by the player, the manager or the club as to why or what's happened there. But it needs resolved. It needs resolved. But like I said, they've spent 22 million on a left back. You can't just sit him on the bench. And the situation is not great at Everton. You know, at the weekend he was back in the squad for the first time since the fallout. He was on the bench, left on the bench against Brighton. Rafa switched to 3 at the back, played a left wing back, put Seamus Coleman there. I mean, that's just a slap in the face to Lucas Digne. I'm going to put you in the squad. So you come to training, do all this stuff to be in the team, be in the squad. And I'm just not going to put you on. I'm not going to play you at all. It's not ideal. So I think Lucas will be on the move. He'll probably go to Chelsea. Like I said, I don't expect him to come to West Ham. But I think it would be the perfect signing for us. We do have 2 domestic loans available to us, which is good. It gives us a lot of wiggle room in the transfer window. And Lucas Digne would be a very low cost financial loan move for us. We'd have to pay Everton $1 million, $2 million. We paid Man United $2 million last January for Jesse Lingard. But the benefits would be huge. Now, I know some people say, whoa, Moyes has got this character test, only getting the right players in kind of thing. I understand that, but I'm willing to give Lucas Digne the benefit of the doubt here because the Rafa thing seems a little bit horrendous anyway. It was never welcomed with open arms. It's only got worse and worse as it's gone on. I think most fans are probably team Lucas Digne than team Rafa Benitez at the minute. But also, this is the 4th manager at Everton that Lucas Digne's had. The other 3 didn't have a problem with him. The other 3 played him week in, week out, had absolutely no issue. He was one of the best left backs in the league. This season his form's dipped, there's no doubt about it. His performances haven't been as good this season as they have been for Everton. But like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and put it down to the manager. He just doesn't get on with the manager for whatever reason. So I actually think a fresh start at West Ham, even if it is just for 6 months, would be fantastic for him. But it'd also be fantastic for David Moyes because we're missing flexibility at the minute. We don't have the personnel to switch formation. We're sort of stuck with this 4 at the back thing because we can't go to 3 at the back. We don't have centre backs. We don't have Alan Creswell, who's quite pivotal when we play 3 at the back. We don't have a left wing back option. We can maybe play Ben Johnson in one of those positions. We can't play both. So that means you've got to then play Masuaku, which I think we'll all agree would like to avoid that situation. I just think Lucas Digne would be the perfect transfer for West Ham in January. Like I said, it would keep the budget intact to go and do stuff elsewhere in the squad, in the centre-back positions and in the striker positions. Do I think we need to replace Simon Cresswell, by the way? No. I think Cresswell's a top left-back, a top player for West Ham. We could probably do with an understudy, someone that's 20, 21, 22 years old that can come in and for the first 18 months or so just play as and when required. And Cresswell's the main left-back. With a long-term view, he overtakes him. But sometimes there's unique situations arise, and we've often said on this channel, myself and Gonzo, that players like when Joe Rodon appeared in that when he was leaving Swansea, it's sort of like you get him now or you don't get him at all. Even if he wasn't necessarily what you were looking at or what you were wanting, an opportunity arises where you can take advantage of, and that's exactly what we've got at Everton with Lucas Digne right now. And I would love to see West Ham take advantage of it and bring him to the London Stadium. I think he'd be terrific for us as well, by the way. The way that we play football, he's also good at set pieces and stuff. There's a lot of pluses to Lucas Digne. I don't think there's too many negatives, actually, in my opinion. If I can have one transfer this window, maybe I'm getting carried away. It probably would be Lucas Digne, actually, because I think long term that would solve that left back, but it's not a problem. But him and Cresswell, and that means that Cresswell can play left centre back when he's fit in the back three. Fantastic business. Now, while the links to Lucas Digne have been a bit rubbish, a bit sporadic, the sources are rubbish, and the ones that have linked Digne to West Ham, the ones that are linking Traore to West Ham are a bit more credible. Percy's really, really good, actually. He's quite a decent source. He was all over Jack Grealish to Manchester City in the summer as well. So, not a rumour that's easy to dismiss. Now, Gonzo's done his video on Adama Traore earlier, giving reasons why. I'm naturally going to do reasons against. Now, we've had quite a few people became subscribers to the channel in the last 18 months or so. And you all think, whenever we do Jesse Lingard or Declan Rice being linked to another club, you're probably thinking, oh, here we go again. The old school Hammers Chat people will know the Adama Traore debate has gone on for years. Every time we come up against his club, Gonzo will say, I love him, and I'll say, no, thank you. And we're both quite stubborn. But not only that, it's not really a stubbornness thing. We just generally have different opinions here. Gonzo really likes him. He's given his reasons why. I appreciate him. I just don't want him at West Ham. Even more now than ever. I've seen the links, 20 million. I thought, please no. Now, I think 20 million is a fair price for Traore for the right club. I just don't think we are. Now, some of the reasons given by Gonzo and others is, well, Moyes has converted wingers to strikers. You can do the same with Traore. I'm sorry, but there's far more evidence to suggest that an Anatovich Antonio would score goals as a striker than there is for Traore. This is going to sound like I'm downplaying what Moyes has done, and I don't mean to, right? I genuinely don't, but it's the only way I can get my point across. Moving Anatovich to a striker was hardly a stroke of genius. There was plenty of evidence. He scored loads of goals as a winger. He probably scored 10 a season consistently, Marko Anatovich at Stoke and West Ham on the sides before being deployed as a number 9 by David Moyes. Now, credit to the manager. He was the one that done it. He was the one that made the conversion work, and it did work, having Anatovich as a striker. So credit to the manager. But like I say, it was hardly a stroke of genius. There's plenty of evidence to suggest Anatovich could do as a striker. And the same with Antonio. He scored plenty on the wing. He was already a goal scorer. They were both goal scorers. They would both score regularly before being moved up front. Like what Jared Bowen is now. If Moyes moved Bowen up front and Bowen started scoring goals, good move by manager. Yes. Has it worked? Yes. Wonderful. But there was enough evidence with Bowen as a winger that he could do as a striker. It'd be like signing Marcus Rashford and playing him up front and he scores goals as a striker. You know, yeah, well done. You're the one that went and done it. It was hardly a stroke of genius. I would be more impressed. I'll tell you what, to try and sort of get me out of someone complaining about the David Moyes comments, I was far more impressed by David Moyes converting Adam Cresswell to a centre-back and a back three than I was by converting Anatovich or Antonio to a striker. Now, if he did it with Adama Traore, I'd be more impressed by the other two as well. Because I don't think there's enough evidence to suggest that Traore could be a striker for a Premier League club. To get a striker in to replace Mikel Antonio, because that's what Traore would have to do if he came in as a striker. He'd have to be good enough to replace Mikel Antonio as a striker. I don't think he's that. We need somebody good enough to replace Mikel Antonio as the number 9 at West Ham. That's what we've got to do. And 20 million is a lot of money for somebody that's going to improve the squad, because Traore would improve the squad. Listen, Would he be a better option on the left than Saïd Benrahma? Possibly. Is he more effective in the final third than, say, Pablo Fornals? Probably. So would he improve the squad? Absolutely. He's far better than Yarmolenko. But is he worth 20 million to West Ham? I'm not so sure. Traore's best position is on the right of a front three. You won't convince me otherwise. And there's stats back it up. Now, the funny thing is, I could easily sit here and say to Gonzo, he's scored no goals and got no assists for Wolves this season. But I think there's some circumstances to that. I don't think it's as straightforward. And I'm actually not going to use that as a club to beat Traore with. Because if you roll the seasons back, he got 9 assists for Wolves that season. Raul Jimenez in the box and Jota over on the left. Nuno had Wolves playing some lovely, lovely football that season. Finished 7th in the Premier League. Traore was a big part of that. The reason Traore was a big part of that is because he played on the right of a front three. He was able to beat his man, go down the line and get the cross in the box to one of the best headers of the ball in Raul Jimenez. He was one of the best in the air in the Premier League. So there you go. You've got a guy that can beat his man, provide the crosses, and in the box you've got a guy that can head it. Perfect. And it worked for Wolves. But we can't play him on the right of a front three. We cannot play Traore in place of Jared Bowen. We just can't. Bowen's a far better footballer. His place isn't up for grabs as far as I'm concerned. So then where else are you going to deploy him? Well, on the left, well, that's why he's struggling under Bruno Lage. Now, so far from me telling Bruno Lage, an experienced manager managing in the Premier League at Wolves, as to what to do. But it's not working, is it, with Adama Traore? It worked under Nuno on the right of a front three. It doesn't work on the left so much, because if he beats his man, he's going down the side on his weak foot, and if he cuts inside to get onto his right foot, he can't cross it. He's in the wrong position of the pitch. But unfortunately for Traore, Bruno Lage prefers Trincao. Bruno Lage likes football played in a certain way, and he doesn't feel that Traore is suited to that he's not technically good enough with his passing, and his end product's not quite good enough to him. And like I said, he's got his attributes. One of the fastest players in the league, well, he is, isn't he? He's the strongest player in the league. I think in terms of speed, I've only seen Kyle Walker match him on a sprint defensively. He's got skills, he can go by players. That's all very good, but your crosses ain't all that, then you've got a little bit of a problem. If your shooting's not all that, you've got a bit of a problem. His decision making isn't the best as well. Too often I watch Wolves and I see him beat 3 players. There's a simple pass on or whatever, he'll try and shoot from 20 yards straight into a centre back or something. So I can understand why Bruno Lage is keen, if you like, to move him on, or he's available for sale at 20 million, in particular with the rumoured contract dispute as well. And I think his best position is on the right of a front three, and like I said, good signing for the right club. I'm just not convinced that we are. As a striker, I don't see it. I don't see why we want him as a striker. I think we need reinforcements in that area of the pitch in January. I really, really do. But as for Adama Traore, not convinced. Not for me at all. Especially not 20 million as well. I think there's better options out there for West Ham at that price. And yeah, that's it really. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Myself and Gonzo are doing a cup of tea on Wednesday. Wednesday night we're doing a cup of tea. It's been ages since we've done one. But that's what happens when you've got European football during the week this season. Not a bad thing, I guess. But yeah, Wednesday we'll be sitting down with a cuppa, so keep an eye out for the post that goes up asking for your questions. Be much appreciated. And if you can join us with your own brew, that'd be much appreciated as well. Anyway, I'm going to disappear now. Catch you in a bit.